Last person signed up is Pat Fonts.
I haven't been as regular an attendee at these as some of the people who've spoken, and I'll mostly be echoing some of their concerns. But I do speak from the maybe less common perspective here of an elderly person who lives in Hopkinton, not exactly a place well served by the bus transit system. However, I do want to say that when I talk about my use of the bus, which is a big surprise to people in Hopkinton that a bus even goes through our town, I often speak well of RIPTA. I put in a positive plug for them because I have specific examples of my having made suggestions to RIPTA and they're following through on them. Now, I can't say I may not be the only person who made that suggestion, but it's a good feeling when you come to a meeting or you go to a board and you express, for instance, there was a time when you couldn't get a bus out of Kennedy Plaza after 8:10 at night. And I wrote a letter in saying, you know, if you come to Providence for a meeting or something, you want to leave after 8:10 at night. And now there's one at 8:17, 9:17, 10:17. So there was a feeling, in my regard, that RIPTA was open at least to suggestions. The other option I have, that's the bus that goes to URI, and I have to drive from my home in Hopkinton over to the corner of 2 and 138 in order to get the 66 or the 62 back down. So that's one aspect of the service. The other one was the commuter buses. 3 buses that leave Hopkinton and Westerly in the morning, and then they come back in the late afternoon. Well, I wrote in a letter saying, you know, this means that you have to stay the whole day. If you get the bus at 7:15, you're not going to get another one back until 4:35, 15. You know that bus service. And I wrote in and suggested that they put in at least one midday bus so that someone who went up in the morning could come back at midday and somebody else could go up at midday and come back on the 5:15. And that happened. No, I was on it recently. There were only 2 or 3 people on it. You may lose it. But at least you have the feeling that someone was listening. On the other hand, when I was on the Conservation Commission in Hopkinton for a few years, we were constantly in touch with DOT about the salt on the road, especially at exit 2. I mean, we had a divider that had, you know, those granite stones along the edge, and 2 or 3 winters, and it would all be eaten away by snow. We all get our water from our wells, and the notion that tons of snow were being dropped on the highway when we don't have that many drivers in Hopkinton, never a word, never any satisfaction from DOT. So I'm just echoing the idea that getting a lot more money at the price of losing our input into how that money is spent is not very comforting. Thank you.